All right, everybody. Welcome to the Honey Jam Pod episode, officially episode one. I'm your host, Janice.
I'm your other host, Jessica.
Can we just talk about what the heck just happened and why I look like I just got out of bed?
You quite literally got out of bed, right? And I'm like in
It,
my pajamas right now,
it is currently 10:38 p.m.
which is pretty late.
It is late. I like to be in bed by 10. Like,
Uh-huh.
be on my phone for a little bit and then just fall asleep by 11. But then suddenly Jessica texts me.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, okay, so just a little bit of a background. We recorded this. We attempted to record this episode yesterday. Clearly, I don't know what I'm doing. It's my first time. This system that we're using is not the most reliable for some reason, and we literally recorded a full hour. And by the end of the episode, let me tell you, Jess was defeated because she just wasn't happy with her performance for some reason. I thought it was just fine, and I was gonna edit, fittingly, so
Mm-hmm.
that it makes sense. But she was just so distraught, so sad about how, like, I don't know, just why did you feel that way yesterday?
I don't know. I think I felt a little nervous.
Yeah,
First of all, because now I know we actually have listeners, whereas before I was like, okay, whatever, no one's gonna listen to us.
right.
And then I don't know, I just felt a little stiff. I felt a
Mm,
little stiff. I'm not gonna lie. Today I feel a little bit more relaxed. I think it's
yeah,
because the spontaneity of our situation right now.
I'm like, I'm not. This is very off-putting, like
Off-putting.
off-putting that you are suddenly coming in hot. Like yesterday, you were depressed and you said you're never going to do this ever again. And all of a sudden today, you're like, Janice, I'm ready. Let's do it right now. I don't care if it's 10:30. Get your ass up out of the bed. We're recording a session. I thought you were joking, but it makes sense. It makes sense why you're so fired
Guys,
up.
this is literally like 100% reality. Like it actually happened this way. And it's really funny because even this morning, Janice was like, hey, Jess, we got to release it on Tuesday. The people are waiting. And we have to set a date to do this thing. And I was like, Janice, like I gotta do this, I gotta do that, I gotta wind
So
down a little
busy all of a
bit.
sudden.
I don't know. Like, can we play it by ear?
And here we are.
The power of encouragement, people.
Keep it coming. And while we're on the topic of encouragement that really fired Jess up, uh, do you want to share some comments that you received, Jess, from our beloved audience?
Janice and I have been flooded by so many encouraging messages, and we cannot thank you guys enough. Like, first of all, for listening.
Yeah.
Like, wow, you guys actually want to listen to us. And there were just like so many heartfelt messages that I received. You too, Janice, and we've just been texting each other the screenshots of those
Yeah.
encouragements. Some people told me that, they felt like they were right there with us, just
Mm-hmm.
chatting it up. They were cracking up at our stories, and they enjoyed the dynamic that we had.
Yeah.
So that right there, man, that fired me up, Janice.
I don't know if we didn't receive any good feedback, I don't know if we'd be here right now.
It's the feedback that's making us, it's keeping us afloat, I would say.
Exactly. And just a quick shout out to our podcast artwork artist, Jane Kim, for making our podcast look even more legit with the
So
official
good.
artwork.
So good. And you're
We
there
love
right
it.
now with Jane in Clovis.
I am actually in Central California, Clovis, California. Jane and Alan are in the what is it called? Healthcare workforce,
Mm-hmm.
and they are sound asleep right
Wow.
now.
Oh my gosh.
So I'm kind of trying to, not be too loud. But yeah, we cannot thank her
Enough. 40-60 math. That was a popular part of our podcast.
Such a dumb moment, but but also I would like to say I was a little nervous.
I mean, it makes sense. Understandable. And Jane is so talented. Like, this girl, she does it all. Like, she's a great nurse. She's
Yep.
a great wife. She's a great cook. She's a great artist. She dances well. Like,
She
Alon, if you're listening to this, just know you're blessed.
gem. She's a gem. Jess and Jane are definitely the top two people in my life that I am constantly pushing to be like go into like content creation seriously.
And Jane has been doing it on TikTok, right?
Yeah, check her out. Check her out on TikTok. Her TikTok, she's gonna kill me for doing this, but I think it's like Bonnie, Bahnee or something like that. You could find her on my TikTok.
But just to kind of go back to our encouragements, I wanted to share this story because I thought it was like super, super cute. One of my neighbors, Matt, shout out to Matt, he was listening to our podcast, our pilot episode in his car while he was like dropping his daughters off somewhere or picking them up. But his oldest was listening with him. And she comes up to me at the playground in our community, like super shy. And at first, Matt was like, "Oh, Isla has something to tell you," and she wouldn't tell me. And I was so curious. I was like, "What do you have to tell me?" And she comes up to me later and she's like, "I like your broadcast."
In like the shyest, cutest voice ever.
So cute. How precious is that? She's 4 years old and she listened to our broadcast. 너무 귀여워. Thank you, Isla.
So cute. Thank
Shout
you,
out
Isla.
to Isla.
And I will say our audience has expanded to parents thanks to Jess.
Yes.
And her community of strong moms and dads. So shout out to you guys.
Can I also share this one encouragement that
Absolutely.
I got? Shout out to Todd. He actually he said, "This podcast changed my..." Todd is like that. He's the best encourager. But he said,
wow.
So he put check, like the check emoji.
Yeah.
Check. Found your niche. Konglish specimen. Check. Fantastic dynamic. Check. Great relatable storytelling. Check. Unique segments. Kchu. Yo.
Wow.
Y'all have yourselves a legit pod.
I don't know this Todd person, but he sounds like a very serious man.
He's enjoying our podcast. He took your Kangchu along with his wife Kara. And they're like, "Why are we sobbing right now?" Watching this Internship Pro. So our Kangchus, they're
legit.
They're legit.
Now all I need is for Jess to follow my Kangchu.
It's 2 hours, so it's a bit of a commitment.
All right, so what's the topic for today?
All right, so we wanted to share some stories back when we were working at CJ.
Let's
CJ
go.
Entertainment. And this was actually like right when, actually no, we were working there when we were seniors in college as interns, and then it continued on into our post-grad life.
Yeah, and so this like experience really shaped, like, I guess it left a very big impact on us because it was like our first real job.
There were so many bizarre things, Janice, at CJ that I just kind of wanted to share with our listeners because I feel like it's such a unique experience working at a Korean American company.
Yeah.
Like, what's one thing that you thought was pretty bizarre?
Definitely, I think one of them was calling everyone nim, which is Korean, right? It's like calling somebody Miss or Mr. So Jessica nim, Alice nim, Christine nim, Janice nim, and like all the older people had to say it to, like all the managers even had to say it to like the
interns.
The interns. And the craziest thing is there were non-Koreans obviously working in the company because it is America, but even the non-Koreans would call us Jessica nim, Janice nim.
Nim.
Yeah.
Not nim. Nim.
Nim. NIM.
NIM. Another thing I want to bring up was like we would have 회식s. So these are like team meetings or like company meetings where we go out, have dinner, have some time outside of work to get to know each other and build team camaraderie. Yeah, like, I mean, if you guys saw like Korean dramas, like this is where like you kind of unleash your all that pent up stress, you know, from the company and work stress that you've had. But it was like the same the same thing. Every 회식, like go to Korean barbecue and then 노래방 after for 2차, right?
Karaoke.
Karaoke. Like the strangest thing, Janice. Strangest thing.
Tell me.
What? So okay, things are like kind of like, you know, like going well. Like we're drinking with our like superiors, our bosses, and like people actually like really high up in the company too. Like they're at the 회식s and they're drinking and they're pouring us drinks.
And mind you, this is all covered by the company, so people are going ham.
Yes, that is why.
Shots.
Yeah, that's why everyone's going ham. And we're not proud of this, but we, you know, we've had a lot of shots that made us, you know, we're ready to go crazy. But we would go to karaoke, and I don't know if you guys have ever been with Janice at karaoke at 노래방. This girl, man,
it's my moment to shine, baby.
Like it's glorious.
Thank you.
It's glorious witnessing Janice shine in her element at 노래방.
But it was both of us. We would go up there on the stage and then show them what we were made of.
Yes, but I mean, you in particular, you are notorious for going crazy at 노래방 with Jane, with Ellen. Shout out Ellen.
Shout out.
They know like the choreography to all the dances. They are singing at the top of their lungs, and it's just like it's pretty glorious to witness. But for me too, you know, like
you know how to have fun.
I know how to have fun too, you know. So at 노래방, like we're like, mind you, we are pretty buzzed. We're singing 숨겨둔 twinkle 어쩌나.
Jess and me.
Yes,
like,
twinkle,
and,
right?
And Jess is harmonizing, of course.
We're harmonizing.
Her specialty.
We're even doing the echo. 어쩌나 어쩌나 눈에 확 띄잖아. No who, right?
The who.
We're going crazy. We're
doing all the riffs.
The riffs, the everything you can name. We're dancing. We're going on top of the chairs and we're going nuts.
The crowd was going wild.
They were going wild. They're cheering us on. They're making us sing more stuff. I was rapping memories.
Oh yeah.
If I fall 2 times, I come back on my 3rd.
Jess's go-to
my go-to rap song. Yeah, my 18번. But yeah, the crowd was going wild, and that's where we felt like, oh my gosh, like we're really getting close to our company people. I'm getting close to my bosses. They're loving
breaking
it right
the
now.
ice.
We're breaking the ice. Like I feel like we kind of leveled up in their book.
Yeah.
And
like won their favor.
Yes, we won their favor. They really like us now, right? And another thing is, like this is like verbatim, but my boss, my direct boss, like even above my manager, who was Alice Neem. Shout out Alice Neem. She would put her arms around me because she's like having such a good time. She would put her arms around me like at 노래방. 언니라고 불러.
Because 신나가지고 she's like in such a good mood.
She's in such a good mood. She's like elated, and she's like, she puts her arms around me. She's like, call me older sister in Korean, right? And I'm like, 눈에 확 띄잖아, right? And it's like, man, we're having such a ball. And then come next morning, right? I walk into a CJ, the office, thinking like, all right, you know what it is? You know what it do?
With like so much yoyu walking in there.
So much. I'm an intern, for God's sake. Like, like, you know what? Like me and Janice, we show them what's up.
Yeah.
We show them what's up. And like, people know who we are now, you know? Like, they're going to remember my twinkle that I say. I come in and I'm fully expecting like my boss to be like, hey, like
last night was lit.
Last night was so lit. You know, like I was expecting that kind of vibe.
Yeah.
I come in and I'm like, hey, 안녕하세요. 안녕하세요, 여러분. 안녕하세요. And the kind of energy that I met with is just the bow.
So polite, as if nothing happened, as if the night never happened.
As if like I just dreamt a dream.
Mm,
It was all a dream. And like the minmang, the shame that I felt in that moment
so embarrassing.
when my energy was not reciprocated. Man, I thought that was so bizarre, Janice. Like, wait, what? Like, what the heck happened last night? That was like reoccurring. Like every time we had oheshi, I'm like, okay, I think we're like friends now.
Yeah.
Go in next morning. Jessica-님, did you get that spreadsheet done?
It's like, who the hell did I party with last night? Were you there?
That was like so bizarre. And I feel like that's like a very Korean thing too. Like,
Yeah.
just like having that professional face versus,
Mhm.
you know, like outside, like, okay,
That's
we're
so
not at
true.
work anymore.
Speaking of like, being proper polite,
Mhm.
I think there was one more bizarre thing that happened,
Oh
right?
my gosh.
So basically, as a new hire, whether an intern or a full-time employee at the company, you had to go through, interviews. And the last interview was like a casual, informal. It was supposed to be an informal interview with the final CEO
Mhm.
of CJ at the time. He's
Yeah.
no longer CJ now, but this man was like very intimidating. He was a military man, so very, very like proper.
Mhm.
And so there were some things that HR had to like walk us through before we stepped into his office, right?
Like it's pretty cool that they wanted us to meet the CEO.
Yeah.
I thought that was like a nice gesture on their part. Like every employee is important, you know? Which
Yeah,
is
that's
pretty
true.
cool. But the bizarre thing was like how they prepped us to meet this CEO guy.
AKA the king almost.
Yes.
Royalty.
The king of CJ. And like I'm pretty sure like she said this to you, right? When she was prepping you. Because you got hired before me, Janice. But I feel like you told me, you were like, hey, by the way, HR is gonna prep you and they're gonna say like weird things like while they're prepping you. And it happened like exactly as you told me. While prepping us, like the HR person's like, okay, you're gonna meet like the CEO. Just as a warning, like here are some things like you can keep note of like while you're talking to him. Don't say yeah, say yes. Okay. That's so specific,
Yeah.
but okay. And I'm like sweating because like I'm already super nervous about meeting him,
Yeah.
but they're like making it seem like you have to be perfect in front of this guy,
Mm-hmm.
you know?
Mm-hmm.
And then another thing they said was like, oh, you have to like, oh, make sure like he likes it when you have like good posture, so make sure you're like standing up straight. Like, are we
Yeah.
meeting like a Joseon king?
준하.
We're meeting the Chunha of CJ.
망극하옵니다.
망극하옵나이다. Like that was what it felt like. So
So scary.
it was scary. It was weird. But the funny thing is, I did it. Like every time I was talking to him, yeah, yes, yes, yeah, yes, yeah, yes. I appreciate it.
I
And
mean,
then,
at that time, we were so desperate to get like to just do a good job.
yeah, we were like, that's all we ever knew. And Janice and I, we like did not do anything during college to prepare for work, you know?
Yeah.
Like a lot of our peers were like part of clubs, part of organizations. They were interning, you know? And we were
Yeah.
just like la la la, like so clueless, didn't know anything. And then now that we've graduated, we're like, oh, we're close to graduating. We're like, oh shoot, like oh, we gotta work.
One of the really big events that like kind of showed how like desperate we were for jobs is Kcon.
Yeah, no.
Or the early days of Kcon.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't know what Kcon is, it's basically like a K-pop convention that CJ owns and it like runs. And Jess and I were part of different teams. I was part of CGV Cinemas, and then Jess was part of the CJ Theatrical
Distribution
segment team.
Mm-hmm.
And so we had very different roles in this event. I was just like at a booth, at the CGV booth, in like the sea of booths in this convention.
Mhm.
Just a cog in the wheel. No one cared about my booth. And then Jess, she was in charge of like the cooler stuff. Like she was in charge of like the main rooms, or
Mm-hmm.
someone came to Jess and said, Jess, we have to like fill this room
Yeah.
because there's this actor coming for a meet and greet.
Mm-hmm.
And this
He
was,
was promoting his drama.
yeah, Sonojun,
Yeah.
aka the guy from Reply 1991 with the Cholado Saturi. And no one was in the room, right? Just carry it away. I mean, carry it away. Take it away.
Yeah, this guy named Sonojun was coming, right? And he's not really a K-pop, like he's not someone who is targeted for the K-pop audience that was coming to
Mm,
Kcon, right? So all of these like audience, like all of the guests who are coming, or not, sorry, not guests, the attendees that are Kcon attendees who purchased Kcon tickets, they're all coming to see the K-pop stars at Staples Center,
yeah.
like the final event, right? And this convention thing is just kind of like, like something to buffer that time until the final
Yeah.
performance of all the K-pop stars coming.
To get people excited.
Yeah. So like you can imagine like people have no idea who this guy is, right? And we're supposed to be filling up like maybe 200 seats or so
Wow.
to do a meet and greet with this guy, but no one is in there. There are like 10 people in the seats. And so our team is
Sad.
panicking. We're like, shoot, like where is everybody? Like he's going to be coming in 30 minutes. What can we do? And Alice Neem, she was my manager who was like overseeing me as an intern. She's like, Jess, you got to do something. Like, come on, like we got to humble ourselves and start yelling out at people to like come to
Mm,
our event, like kind of like almost begging
begging.
people. Yeah. And I was like, you know what? I got this. I'm just a lowly intern. That's nothing to me, Alice Neem. I got you. So I go out and I'm like yelling out to everybody, like, hey guys, like there's this guy named Sonojun. He's super popular in Korea. Like you have to come to this. Like this,
Mm.
the seats are filling up. It's popping in there. There's like 10 people in there.
But you
I'm
had to
like,
hype it up.
I'm like super hyping it up, and I'm acting again. That's
The
just the
acting never
theme.
stops.
The acting never stops. I'm like, guys, it's popping in there. You guys have to go in, like, secure your seats right now. It's gonna fill up.
Mhm.
And I'm like yelling this at people, and everyone's like, really? Who is it? And I'm like garnering some attention.
Yeah.
And then, like 20 minutes in, we look inside, and guess what, Janice?
What? How many people were there?
The seats are completely filled, and people are standing in the back.
Wow. Full house.
It's a full house, baby.
Damn.
And this is like 10 minutes right before like Sonojun comes in. And so like you can imagine I was being loud and rambunctious about this.
Mhm.
And like people were passing by, and the same CEO nim, the
That we
Chonha,
talked to,
the
interviewed.
Chunha, yeah,
The
that
king
we
himself.
interviewed with. The king himself. He graces us with his presence. And he's walking by because he's like going around like checking to see like if everyone's been okay.
Mhm.
And he walks by and he sees me like yelling out like, guys, like come, and like garnering all this attention. And he's like, who is this girl? Who is this girl? And someone's like, oh, that's just our lowly intern, Jess.
And what were
And
his exact words, Jess?
his exact words were, and I like I was pretending like I couldn't hear or see him, but I saw him like in my peripheral.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, and 더 열심히 했어. Like, guys, come on. Hear ye. And 더 열심히 하는데 I'm still like trying to listen to what he's saying. And he said, someone hire this girl.
Wow.
Yo.
That's it. That's all you need to hear.
Those 4 words. What if I said the wrong math? That would have been funny. Those.
Let's get this girl hired. 5. It's 5 words, Jess. Oh, no. It's get this girl hired. 4.
There we go. Yeah, get this girl hired. He uttered those words to a lowly intern like me, and you can imagine that hyped me up.
Through the roof.
Through the roof. I'm like, oh my gosh, I just got noticed by the CEO-님 and I'm going to get hired. I'm going to get a job. And like we said before, we were obsessed with the idea of getting hired at CJ Entertainment.
Yeah, and basically just got scouted through this convention.
Yes.
Whereas I was on the other side, once again, just sweating my butt off for no good reason. I don't even think the CEO came by our booth. No one cared about our booth.
It was a hard job for you because like it was with everybody else in that huge like convention
Yeah,
hall,
yeah,
and it was like a booth where people are just like passing by.
yeah, exactly. I was just
Yeah.
kind of like just like doing my job in like a festival, you know,
Mhm.
spinning the wheel.
Yeah. 근데
Congratulations, here's your
나름
prize.
열심히 하고 있었어.
Yeah, I did my best. So and Kcon spanned over like 3 days, a
Mhm.
matter of 3 days.
Yeah.
And Justin and I were living together at the time, so we were commuting together, like going back home together. And this was like the second to third last day. And then like I'm exhausted from doing all of that all day. And then Jess, similar to like her vibe today, actually, she's very energetic, like
It's off-putting.
extremely. It's
Off-putting.
off-putting how giddy she was. So I'm like, well, you know, did you have a good day today? What happened, Jess?
And Janice is like exhausted at this point, and she's like, "Oh, like basically in her mind she's like, why the heck are you not tired like me?
Yeah.
Like did you have a blast? What the heck?"
Uh-huh.
그때부터 좀 기분 나빴어. You're like,
내가
what's
like
going
me.
on? Yeah.
Uh-huh.
You're like, what happened?
Am I missing something here?
Yeah, like what did we not go to the same convention? Are we not interns? And for me, I'm like, Janice, you won't believe what happened.
Yeah.
I was a star. I'm like straight up bragging to Janice.
That was the vibe.
I didn't mean to brag, but I was just so happy that I got noticed. And again, like we were like desperate interns.
Yeah.
I was just like, I was so elated that like it felt like my hard work was paying off,
Yeah.
you know, kind
And
of thing.
like Jess truly wasn't showing off. It was just like super pure because she was just really excited. Like purely just excited and just wanted to tell a story. But me, I like being on the other side, like listening to a story and not getting any recognition for my hard work. I started off like listening to her story with like a smile, and then that just quickly turned into tears. And I just started bawling.
She was like listening, and then I could see her smile slowly dissipating, like, uh-huh, uh-huh, uh-huh. And
And
she
it was
starts
like,
crying.
and Jess was just so confused.
I was
Like,
like, oh my
what's going
gosh.
on?
Yeah, I was genuinely like so like concerned.
Yeah.
Like, what happened? Are you okay?
Yeah. I'm like, Jess, I'm really happy for you. But I worked hard too.
어, 너무
What about
슬퍼.
me? Are you gonna get hired before me? You're gonna leave
귀여워.
me?
귀여워. 너무
Oh my
귀여워.
gosh. And it's funny because, you know, that was working at CJ was our dream job back then.
And it's hilarious because Janice got hired before me. This girl, dude. Good times.
That's a great story.
Great.
Can I share another story, Jess?
Yeah.
It's a crazy story. And
Don't tell me it's that story.
it's that story. It's what you're thinking.
Wait, we already shared that we did this like 2 times, so
There's an agenda, people.
wait.
So-
Don't you tell me that you're gonna share that story, Janice.
That's right. You guessed it. So at the time, I was very close to my boss, and I was in charge of a bunch of things for the movie theater, CGV, in Cape
Mhm.
Town.
Yeah.
And a lot of times I just didn't have that much to do. And I
Mhm.
just remember like kind of, you know, we're all in the office, so we have to act busy, you know?
Yeah.
So I would just like stare into my blank screen and just click on my mouse so it sounds like I'm working.
Mhm.
Did you do that, Jess?
I did. I was on the other side of the office doing the same thing.
Click, 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 drag, click, 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 on nothing. And so I started a Twitter account for the very first time. And on this Twitter account, I just kind of kept it for myself. I like no one was following me. I just kept it more of like as a journal for like the stupidest thoughts and like photos. Like
Mhm.
anytime,
Yeah.
I was pretty active. And then one day, like the bathroom at CG was like very far away and like dead quiet,
Yeah.
silence. You
It
could
was like
hear
down
everything.
the hall. You gotta make a left.
Yeah, and you knew when someone else was like in the stall. Like there were like 12 stalls, but you just knew because it was
Yeah.
so quiet. And so I was about to get up to go to the bathroom, but then my boss went up first, and I was like, "Oh, damn it, I have to wait now because I don't like I have to poop so badly, but it's so awkward if I know that she's in the bathroom, you know?"
Yeah. Yeah.
So I was like, "That's a funny thought. That's so stupid. Why can't I just go? Like, why am I being so squishmy about just pooping?" And then I posted it on my Twitter, and I wrote,
You were in a Twitter phase during
"Yes,
that time.
yes, I was," and I wrote like the words were like something like, "Whenever I have to go to the loo," and I said loo because there was a character count, so it sounds so stupid. "My boss always gets up first, and then I have to wait because I don't want to poop in the same bathroom." Posted it and realized I posted it on the CGV official Twitter.
My gosh.
It was, I mean, I don't even know how to describe. Like my heart just dropped.
Yeah.
It was crazy, and I immediately recognized my mistake. I deleted it, and
Mhm.
I was like, "Oh my god, thank God! Like, I hope she didn't see it."
Yeah.
Uh, and then I get a notification on Facebook, and I realized it's been on Facebook because like Facebook and Twitter accounts they were linked,
Mhm.
and so it was on Facebook for a good like 5 minutes, 10 minutes,
Oh my god.
and so yeah, I knew I was in trouble, but I deleted it right away, and I was like, "Oh my gosh!" And she's still in the bathroom at this point. And she comes back from the bathroom and doesn't say a word. So I'm like, okay, maybe she didn't see it. And to be fair, and obviously it was my mistake. If I had
Mhm.
done this at like any other company, I would have gotten fired, like if it was like Disney or whatever. But at CGV, there weren't many followers on Twitter or like Facebook. We got like the interaction, the most thing we got was like maybe 4 or 5 likes on each post. So I was like, okay, it should be okay. It shouldn't be
Mhm.
a big deal.
Yeah.
But, a day passes, 2 days pass, and like my boss, who I was very, very close to, and we would have like like hours of meetings of just talking about personal things.
She would book a conference room and like you guys would just work in there and like talk and gossip and like share
Yeah.
life. Yeah.
Yeah. And suddenly she just stopped, like completely stopped meeting with me and like
So
was kind of cold.
cold.
Yeah. And I was like,
Oh.
at this point, I was like, okay, she knows. She knows. And I'm just waiting for my doom, you know? I don't know what she's going to do,
Yeah.
but I was just so frightened.
Yeah.
And if you think about it, at that time, she was our age,
She
30
was
years old.
30.
She was 30 years old. And so it's funny to think about that because I'm like, I wonder how I would react as a manager.
Yeah.
But anyways, I think she was in the end, like she was a little hurt that I was
Mhm.
talking about her, and she thought we were really close, and we were. It's just that I thought it was funny, and I wasn't talking crap about her. I
Mhm.
was just making fun of myself. But I
She
think
took
there
it
was a
really personally.
yeah,
That's what it
yeah.
was.
I
Yeah.
I, I understand. I get it. But after like I think it was a week and a half, like she finally talked to me, and she was like, "Hey, like let's go into the meeting room." And then she's like, "I just want you to know, like I saw the post, and basically like I want to keep this relationship professional now from
Yeah.
now on moving forward.
Mhm.
And I just didn't appreciate that, and like it was unprofessional and la la la, and I was just like bawling. I was like crying,
A lot of
and
crying involved during
a lot
CJ
of crying.
days.
That's right. And she was just like, "I don't know why you're crying. This was your mistake." And I was like, "I'm
Oh my
so sorry."
Wait, she said that?
Yeah. And it was my mistake. It was my
Holy
mistake.
dude, that's
So
cold,
I
man.
apologized and I said, "I just want you to know one thing. Like it's a misunderstanding. I have no ill feelings towards you at all." But that was that was it. And then I mean later even HR called me in.
Because she reported it to
Yeah.
HR. Yeah.
And I was just crying in the HR person's room too, and she's like, "It's okay.
That's not a
We
big
didn't
deal.
it's not a big deal.
Yeah.
We didn't see major drawbacks from that post or whatever." And I was like, I'm so sorry.
Dude, imagine like as a like how old are you? 21?
Yeah.
Imagine as a 21-year-old like making that kind of mistake. And again, right before this, we were obsessed with the
Yeah.
idea of getting hired and you finally have this job.
Yeah.
And honestly, like when you go to work, like that's your life. Like if you think about it, you're spending
Mm,
8 hours there and it's just you and her and you're trying to look good in front of your
yeah.
boss, but also at the same time you're like getting close to her because it's, you see her every day
Right. Right.
and you make this huge mistake. It feels like your world is crumbling.
It was, I mean, it was a bad mistake. It was a huge mistake. And it traumatized me for life.
And
And
you
I literally just deactivated my Twitter account then and there. Like, I was like, I'm not doing this ever again. I'm not making this mistake ever again. So at this point, Jess wasn't even there because she started pursuing her speech
Mhm.
language pathology career. And so I was by myself. And I think Christine was there actually too.
But she
But
was in the Kcon, like a
yeah,
different team.
yeah,
Yeah.
she was busy. So I like basically didn't have any friends and I was just depressed for like 2 or 3 months and I was like, I can't take this anymore. I quit. So I quit
Dang.
without any job aligned.
What a gangster.
So yeah, that's my legendary poop story.
That's a great story. Can I actually share another story? I thought
Of
of one.
course.
And it's just like a really short one, but I thought it was like super funny. So when I was an intern, like obviously I had like not, many responsibilities. And one of the things that they had me do was I had to quality check the DVDs that they were like releasing.
Yeah.
And if you guys know, it was CJ that distributed Ode to My Father, 국제시장 in
Classic.
America. It's a classic. And they were releasing the DVDs, but what I had to do was I had to check each and every DVD, which is so
Wow.
sad, dude. That's such an intern job, but that's
In
what I
like a
did.
dark room all by
I
yourself.
mean, I was in my cubicle. Like I
Oh,
just
okay.
had to wow, way to just like
Painting that picture.
but I mean, it felt like a dark room. And I would just like get the DVD case, take it out, put the disc in the computer, and I would just skip through the movie to make sure like there aren't any like, blips.
Mhm.
But what's hilarious is I don't know if you guys saw Ode to My Father. It's a really sad movie. Like there are a lot of moments where it's a tearjerker.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I'm checking these DVDs and like this is like my 20th, like 30th, 40th time checking, but every time I'm skipping through the scenes, I'm crying. Like tears are flowing down my face as
Yeah.
I'm quality checking these DVDs
At your desk.
at my desk because I'm seeing different scenes,
Yeah.
but also like every time it hits. So, so I'm like an intern doing a very lowly task, but crying because I'm just like 감동ed by the scenes of Ode to My Father.
We
So
had, I mean, CJ was a little crazy, but we had a lot of good memories.
it. I feel like it shaped us in our early adult years
Yeah.
to really know the value of just working and what it
Mm,
takes to hold a job, what it takes to be a good worker, and also
yep,
like navigating through adulting, you know?
that's right.
So it was well, I'm thankful. Like as horrid as it was at certain times,
Yeah.
it it was also very formative to our early adult years.
Kchu.
Kangchu.
It's a Kangchu corner,
Mm-hmm.
everybody. You know what that means. It is a strong recommendation coming from yours truly,
Mm-hmm.
Janice and Jess.
And I will say a lot of people have looked into our recommendations and they've been giving us feedback that it's been pretty good.
We only give the best recommendations. It is a Kangchu.
It's a gangchu.
Gang chew.
gang gang gang. 달고 달기단 달다간다다다 밤양 gang gang gang.
All right, I guess I can start off with my Kangchu.
Okay.
It's a non-traditional Kangchu.
Mm.
It's a privilege.
So
But if you have it, you better
use it.
use it.
Yes.
My Kangchu of the week is befriend someone in big tech or have a sibling or date someone in big tech.
Okay.
Because I was in San Francisco last week
Mm-hmm.
and our friend June and Hannah housed us, and June works for a mega tech company. He brought us in We ate like a lavish meal for 4 days straight for breakfast and lunch, and everything was completely free. Office space was great. So,
Dude.
if you have a friend, don't be ashamed. Just ask. The worst thing they can say is no, but if they do say yes,
And
you go
judge
into
you
the
for
office.
freeloading.
Yeah, exactly. That's the worst thing that can happen, y'all. It's not that bad, okay? You just gotta let go of your pride a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
That's my Kangchu, but yeah, man, like, we had just a full bowl of the freshest berries you can ever think of.
Wow.
Just like avocado, mango salad, ice cream,
Oh my gosh. That sounds bomb.
coffee, matcha, you name
Really?
it. I mean, Jess's sister-in-law, she works for a very, very famous tech company. She's been to the campus. Jess, can you confirm that this is a good
Yeah,
Kangchu?
no, shout out to Rachel, my sister-in-law, my sissy. She works at the Playa Vista Google office.
The
And
best of the
I
best.
mean, Rachel's like always so gracious. She's like inviting us all the time. It's just like really far for us, and obviously we have our little toddler, so it's hard for us to go often. But anytime the opportunity arises, we try to go. And I will say, like, every time I go, it feels like I'm entering like a new world. Like it's like
Yeah,
out of this world, you know?
for sure.
And like it used to be a hangar, and Janice was telling me that they kind of try to go for the vibes of like Noah's Ark or whatever, right?
Yeah.
They were
Mhm.
trying to channel that kind of vibe.
Mhm.
And I can really see that. And it's just like, it's so nice. I can't believe people work there. And
Yeah.
what's crazy is like Rachel, she's so used to it that it's like she's not impressed by it anymore.
Wow.
You know? And that's swag right there. Like
Yeah.
that 그것도 너무 멋있어. And everyone walking around and they're like, I'm like, whoa.
Yeah, like this is an everyday thing.
Yeah, 너무
But I don't know.
멋있어.
I
Yeah.
will never get used to it. Oh, the first time I went to like a big tech company, I went to the bathroom,
Mm-hmm.
and all of the toilets had like really nice bidets. And that's
Mm-hmm.
when I was like, this is too much.
Yeah.
This is
That's
this is
kind of
overboard.
like that's a luxury
Yeah.
that we don't need. It's not
Yeah.
necessary.
Like, why is my butt warm while I'm on the toilet? Is that necessary?
Oh wow, there's
Do
a
software engineers need that?
they definitely do. They're sitting on their butts all day, so I guess they do. But yeah, that's a great recommendation, I guess.
It's
It-
a it's a
I-
privilege.
it's a privilege that you can tap into, so we highly recommend that you look for people working in tech.
Or better yet,
And
apply yourselves.
yeah, yeah,
That's my country.
apply to tech companies, even in this economy.
Yes, it is a little
It's
shaky.
it's a little rough out there,
Yeah,
but
so just have a friend, and
yes,
just reap the benefits. Over
amazing.
to you, Jess.
I think my Kangchu, I'm gonna throw it back a little bit.
Okay.
So Josh thinks I'm so lame for always saying this. Josh, my husband.
You must clarify every
I
time.
must clarify every time for our new listeners near and far. Um my ultimate favorite Korean drama, which is a big statement because there are a lot of good Korean dramas out there, is 그녀는 예뻤다.
Oh, throwing the way back.
Yeah, I said it.
And I'd like to add, actually, Jess is one of the few who is not watching Queen of Tears.
Yes. I mean, I really
Unfortunately.
wanted to start it because there was a lot of hype around it. Actually, my mom was the one who was like, you have to watch it. It's so good.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'm like, it's hard for me, like at the end of the day when I'm like exhausted. I just kind of want to wind down watching like stupid reels on my Instagram
Yeah.
and just like fall asleep. It's hard for me to commit to a drama. So
I get it. I get it.
yeah. But you know what? Queen of Tears and 연애남매, I'll get to it. I'll get to it.
But for
But
now,
for now, I do want to recommend 그녀는 예뻤다. This is like one of like the dramas that Park Seo-joon. It wasn't his debut drama, but I feel like it's like the drama that kind of made him pretty big,
for
right?
sure, it was actually during the time we were at CJ.
Yes. Yeah. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. We would go
I think
every week and like just
yeah,
like wait for the next episode.
yeah. She was pretty.
She was pretty. Park Seo-joon, he's the guy. I mean, everybody knows Park Seo-joon, right? Itaewon class, part of BTS V's crew. Yeah.
Recently had his downfall in the
Why?
Marvels.
Oh yeah, I didn't even watch it. Did you watch it, Janice?
I didn't, but I heard horrid things about it.
Yeah. I mean, there was a time when I was obsessed with this man.
I think we all were at one point.
And it was 그녀는 예뻤다. She was pretty. That did it for me.
That's right.
Like something about that drama. Even Hwang Jung-eum, you know, she was so good in that drama, and it's pretty corny. It's pretty cheesy, but
Yeah.
I feel like that's the essence of a Korean drama. You know?
They don't make dramas like that these days.
Yeah.
Although Queen of Tears, you have to watch it.
Okay. Yeah, it's just like it's very light. It gives you butterflies. They're so good at acting. I think that's what it was. Hwang Jung-eum and Park Seo-joon, they're both so good at acting in that drama.
Yeah.
Like I have very fond memories of that drama. I will say though, maybe if I watch it again, maybe I'll cringe.
It'll be a little cringe.
Because there was a time when Janice and I, we were like reminiscing on how A Walk to Remember was so good. But then we attempted to watch it again and we literally couldn't get through it because it was so cringe.
Some things are just better kept
In our
the
memories.
past,
Yeah.
in our memories.
But I will say 그녀는 예뻤다, I rewatched it like a few years
Oh.
later and it was still good. So I mean,
It's definitely a fan favorite.
if you guys haven't watched it, just watch it and just you be warned that it is pretty cheesy, but watch it.
Excellent Kangchu for the week, Jess. Thank you very much. I think we could wrap it up right here. Just a few reminders. Please remember to follow us on TikTok, YouTube, Instagram. My handle is Hot It's Janice. Jessica will not be sharing her handles because she doesn't want to, and that's okay. That's okay. You don't have to share your handles.
Thank you, Janice. And please leave a review because, again, power of encouragement, people. I'm slowly like shutting down right now, which is perfect because we're at the end of our podcast. But your encouragements, your reviews, your feedback, it fires us up.
Thank you guys. We'll see you next week.
See you guys next week.